Ever since their discovery in the early 20th century, we've sought to find out more about black holes. And we've learnt that they can warp time, trap light, and do many other bizarre things we've yet to explain. But now there's a new kid on the block, the white hole, and these fellas may be even weirder. So let's find out what they can do in our video where we ask the question, white holes, stranger than black holes? The answer is yes. Starting at number 4, what are they? Transdimensional portals. There, I said it. But first, let's make sure everyone knows how its cousin, the black hole, works. Black holes use huge gravitational pull to suck in matter and light to a place where nothing can escape. And we think that these mysterious objects are created when a supercondensed mass becomes so powerful it deforms the fabric of space-time. An example of this would be a dying star, whose mass eventually collapses under its own weight and forms a black hole. But the hypothetical white hole may originate and behave in the exact opposite way. So how can white holes be created if matter and light can't enter them in the first place? One of the leading theories suggests that white holes are actually very old black holes, and that all of the material sucked in over time explodes out when they transform into a white hole. Imagine a kid at a pie-eating contest who spews up at the end. It's basically that, but in space. This means that the material within a black hole may not be lost forever as we previously thought. And that's good, because this shouldn't be possible according to physics. But perhaps most curious of all is the idea that when a white hole blows chunks, the material which comes out may not be of this universe. At number 3, potential portals. Black holes have something called an event horizon, and when light or matter crosses this point, they cannot return to the universe from whence they came. Ooh, that's a fancy word. Whence? Anyway, when objects pass the event horizon, they end up in a black hole's interior region. And we believe that white holes must also have one on the other side of the singularity. But where this white hole would squirt you out, we're just not sure. Not that you'd be in any state to observe your new surroundings, since you'd have just been crushed into oblivion by the singularity. Nevertheless, it's still fascinating that matter could potentially travel over great distances using these bizarre objects. Oh, and by distances, we're not talking in kilometers. We mean dimensions. It is thought that Einstein-Rosen bridges, or wormholes, could exist to bridge the gap between white holes and black holes. And it's possible that these bridges lead to other places in our universe, thus making faster-than-light travel possible. By cheating. However, physicists think that a wormhole which lets you travel across your own universe would probably be unstable. So it's more likely that a white hole may exist in another universe entirely, and perhaps another time. Number 2. Time travel. If traversable wormholes exist between white and black holes, some physicists believe that they should be able to alter the speed of time and potentially even reverse it for anyone traveling through. We already know that objects which move at high speeds travel faster into the future through time dilation, and this has been proven through the Hayflick and Keating experiments, where some super-accurate atomic clocks were placed on the ground and others circled the globe in airplanes. The clocks on the planes registered as having experienced more time, albeit mere nanoseconds, than the stationary clocks on the ground. We mentioned this strange effect in our recent video called Will Time End? When we revealed how, after being sent into space, astronaut Scott Kelly aged slower than his Earth-bound brother Mark by 8.6 milliseconds. But when you scale this up using super-fast speeds, theoretically you could age ridiculously slowly and travel many years into the future if you were to traverse the wormhole between a white and black hole. Or maybe even go backwards and travel into the past. If you were able to accelerate one end of a wormhole and place it in the same area as the static end, in theory, that accelerated end should age slower than the static end. Now, let's imagine there's a parent who cares not for the safety of their kids. If they were to place their two twin babies at either end of the wormhole, and then speed one up and place it next to the other end like we said, the accelerated baby may age only 4 years in the 12 years experienced by the static baby. But weirdly, if the parent witnessing this were to travel through the entrance guarded by the 4-year-old baby, the parent, who had also aged 12 years, would be able to go back 8 years and see their 12-year-old baby when it was 4. Confused? Well, it's time travel, folks. The heck did you expect? And in at number 1, the Big Bang. Earlier in this video, we mentioned the theory that white holes are just very old black holes. But what we failed to mention is when this takes place. We think that black holes pull a Caitlyn Jenner when they cannot shrink any further, transitioning into a white hole under the influence of a pressure called quantum bounce. This leads us to 2 intriguing possibilities. First of all, that many of the black holes we've detected in the universe are actually white holes. It's just that due to the time it takes for light to reach us and the crazy effects of black holes on time, mean we cannot yet see them. If this is true, then many of the black holes formed at the beginning of the universe should be ready to turn. And perhaps they are, with some scientists believing that some cosmic rays and gamma bursts are actually white holes being generated. One white hole candidate was discovered on June 14, 2006, when a gamma-ray burst called GRB 060614 was spotted by the NASA Swift satellite. This burst did not fit the usual pattern of any gamma-ray burst we've ever seen before, since they usually last a few seconds, whereas this one stretched out to nearly 2 minutes. So it seems that 11 years ago we may have witnessed a white hole popping into existence for the first time in history. And speaking of popping into existence, white holes also link us to an interesting theory about the creation of our universe, and indeed all universes. The quantum bounce we mentioned earlier describes how black holes turn white by being squeezed by outward pressure, like a zit, until they burst and their contents go all over the universe's bathroom mirror. And we think that this may be one of the ways in which universes are created, with the cosmic bounce between black and white holes replicated on a gigantic scale to form a universe. If true, this means we'll eventually experience the Big Crunch before contracting again and expanding again for all time. Turns out the universe is Jonah Hill. Clearly, we have a lot to learn about white holes and dark holes, and the rest of the universe for that matter. But did you know that both white and dark holes could be a potential source of power? This is something we're going to cover in our Go Deeper bonus entry, The Power of Black and White Holes, which is exclusive to Strange Mysteries Patreons, where you'll get far more than just exclusive clips like this. For just $2 a month, you'll also be able to help us decide what videos to make, find out which topics are in the pipeline, and ask the Strange Mysteries team any questions you might have. Any questions. Our Patreon page can be found at this link here, in the upper right with the exclamation mark circle, description box, or you can visit patreon.com/Strange Mysteries and sign up there. Amidst the chaos of advertisers peeling away from YouTube and, in turn, twisting the arms of creators on YouTube, we still want to make the best possible content for you guys. However, our ability to continue to do this relies largely on your help. But if you'd like to continue watching regular Strange Mysteries, then check out this link to our recent video which asks, what exists at the edge of the universe?